Hello, everybody. Sorry for that. A couple seconds late. I always leave Gil's show about 5-10 minutes early, um, so I can go to my show and check on the status of whether or not my iPad is going to let me use my camera or not. So I waited a little bit longer tonight and stayed on Gil's show. He was talking basically, and they still are, about basically what we're going to be talking about this evening. So take this as a continuation of his show, if you will. Only I don't know how we did not coordinate that, but that's what's happening is we're kind of discussing the same thing. So I came over to check on mine, and sure enough, it said camera cannot be located. So I had to reboot my computer and get everything all set up again. So I apologize for being tardy, but we are all here together. So let me welcome people, and then we'll get into the contents. We got some great contents tonight. I do have a couple show and tell, not very many, a couple show and tell items. I wanted to go out in the garage and get my PureWell water filtration system. It's under a whole bunch of stuff, but I could get the other one. What is the name of it? Anyhow, I have two of the chrome or the stainless steel gravity-fed water filtration systems, and so I wanted to grab that one that has UV filter on it so I could show that to you. But gosh, I just spent so much time out there, and today, I don't know, today has been one of those days. Everything I touched just fell apart. We came in, we were watching TV, and all of a sudden, the house alarm system just started going beedo-deedo. So we went over and checked on it, and in between the bouncings, we could tell that it said that our house motion detectors needed batteries replaced. So called the company. They walked us through how to do it. We tried to do it, couldn't get it done. They said, "Oh, you've got an older system." So they sent us an email, a text message with a link, and then the link allowed them to look through the lens of our camera, and they walked us through how to change the batteries on the two motion detectors. So we got that all done, went to the pad wasn't working. So then we called them back, and they said, "Well, did you unplug at the master plug before you changed the batteries?" We said, "No, we didn't do that." They didn't tell us to. They said, "Well, you got to do that in order for everything to take. So you got to go in there, unplug your master with the transmitter and everything else, then go and unplug the batteries in the panel, and then pull the batteries out of your motion detectors and put them back in." We did that. That took another hour. Finally got all that done, called them back. They said, "Oh, no, you've got a broken pad. So we're just going to have to send out a tech, and that's $75 plus $35 for every 15 minutes that they're at your home." Go, holy crying out loud. So they got a schedule for tomorrow. I started working on my notes for a neighbor I visited with St. Vincent de Paul, trying to get his rent paid and get the check written and all that kinds of stuff. And lo and behold, I got a phone call. And every time I get a phone call, it kicks me out of the internet and onto, well, it just kicks me off the internet because I'm on my phone. I have an iPhone and an iPad. So, just phone takes precedence over everything else, and it kicks you out of any work you're doing. And but it was the security company, and they had an opening this afternoon. They were going to send a guy out, and he says, "Oh, no, you've got a bad master system. So it's going to cost you $400 in parts and about $150 in labor." And I said, "Holy crap, we'll just cancel the account. I'm not going to pay $550. I said, "I can go to the home alarm system, the next one on the list in the yellow pages." Well, we don't have yellow pages anymore, but you know what I mean. And they won't charge me anything for a brand new system. And he says, "Yeah," he says, "You're right." He says, "I get this all the time when I go out on service calls." And I said, "Okay." So we unplugged the master reporting system. We're no longer hooked up to the master reporting system, although the local alarm will go off, but it won't get reported to the police. And so I called the company to cancel the account, and they called me back 15 minutes later and said, we got a deal for you. You've got an older system. You're out of warranty. We will put you into a new system under warranty for 7 years, retain the same monthly payments you're paying now. Everything changes. All you have to do is pay $299 for the new system. And so we talked about it and we decided, okay, we'll do that. And so, well, do you give a military discount? And they said, well, you didn't say that at first. And he says, let me check in the military discount. So he came back and he says, yeah, we'll give you $150 off the system. So now we're paying $149 for a brand new system. It's going to have one more motion detector than what we had. It's going to have a smoke detector, all of it tied to the central alarm system. And they had an opening and they're installing it tomorrow. So, I guess, as they would say in Russian, derma является, or a poo-poo occurs in life. But I got so little accomplished today. I did see my pulmonologist this morning, and he gave me some steroids and some antibiotics for my cough. And that's probably going to be every 3 months for the rest of my life, just because of the disease I have. So let's see who else here. Hello, Mike, or Utah Mike. Welcome. Great. Muskoka Oma, thank you for joining Gil's channel this evening. I greatly appreciate that. We need to support him and get him up in his viewership as well. Holly Ivans, good evening. Muskoka Oma, I already said. Let me see. Who else? Little Lone Prepper, welcome. Cats and Prepping, good to see you. Hill Summit Homestead, Jack from Australia, fantastic to see you, my brother. Oh, Jack, you aren't going to believe what came in the mail today. I am so excited, and you'll be excited about this too. Look at this. Look what I got in the mail today. The entire coordinated, all of the prophecies about Jesus that were predicted in the Old Testament. It's the entire Testament, and it's annotated with everything that fulfills itself in the New Testament. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how excited I am. And this is by Dr. John Bergsma and Dr. Brant Petrie, two of my favorite authors. I have a lot of Brant Petrie's books. God, great. I am super excited. Can't wait to dig into that. Cats and Prepping, and let me see who else. Oh, KP Heathen, good evening. How is Louisiana? Hey, listen, praying for your safety, buddy. That's already a Category 1. They're anticipating that's probably going to get up to a Category 3 by the time it hits the coast. So buckle down. Let me know if you need a place to run to, okay? Because the evacuations routes are going to be pretty heavily traveled. You've got I-10, I know, is going to just be hellacious to travel on. But if you can make it to Houston and then take either 183 or 290, it's only another 4 hours and you're here. So that would be great. I think the last time we drove to New Orleans was Helen's niece was in the hospital with leukemia, and it took us right at, I believe, 8 hours from here to New Orleans, to give you an idea under normal circumstances of what the drive time is. Who knows what it's going to be with all the evacuations because of the hurricane. So, but give me a call. Let me know. Send me an email. We'll give you contact information if you need it, and you got a place to stay, buddy. Claude Ortega, welcome. Good evening. Good to see you. Let me see. Where else are we? Anybody else new? Phioxerus, good to see you too. Welcome. And Diana too. Sue me. Yeah, he was. When I rebooted and everything all came up, then I was still on that channel. So it came back up and he was still going. So he'll probably be here in a little while. Mother Earth Garden Club, good evening. I don't know who recommended that book. There was somebody recommended a book on Native American cooking, and it's ordered. I ordered it. It was a $15 book and it's 272 pages of drawings, of foraging, of soups and stews, and how to cook animals and how to cook the things that they forage for. Oh my God. It's a great book. Let me see what's the name of it here. Just a minute. Orders, returns and orders. There we go. Returns and orders. Ooh, I didn't sign in. Okay. I didn't sign into Amazon after I rebooted. So here we go. My orders: Native Harvest, American Indian Wild Foods and Recipes. So, and it's going to arrive September 27th. So here we go. Let me share this. This looks really super interesting. And one of the things we're going to talk about is recommended books tonight anyway. But somebody over on Gil's channel recommended this book. And so I bought it based off of their recommendation. And so here you go. There you go. Native Harvest. American Indian Wild Foods and Recipes. So very excited about that. So I had never even thought about looking at Native American recipes. So thank you so much. And when I went on there and looked at all the books on Native American recipes, unbelievable. And I'm hoping that this is going to be one of those great books that's really going to be critical for us in our preparations as we get ready for SHTF. Okay, let me see. Suan Goulet, good evening. Welcome. I think you came over from Gil's channel because I saw you over there. Welcome. Okay, so that's it. Let's get into what we're talking about this evening. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for bypassing the debate. I'm seeing all kinds of predictions that Harris is going to win. Of course, that's, I don't know. There's all sorts of propaganda out there. The hardest thing right now in our society is finding fair, balanced, unbiased reporting of just the facts. Just give me the facts and let me make up my own mind. I'm tired of everybody interpreting it for me. And then we have we have even more bias than NBC, ABC running the debate. So I know it's going to be a setup. It's going to be terrible. So I don't think there's any interest. They don't have any interest in fairness and finding out who is best qualified. And I'm not making a prejudgment of who it is, but I would like to know who is best qualified based off of what they intend to do. And I don't think we would get that if we were watching the show tonight. So thank you for being here. At least here we're going to get facts and data instead of propaganda and telling you what you want to hear. Oh, Frontier Preppers. The guy's name is Billy, who runs Frontier Preppers. And if one of you could find Billy's channel for me, Frontier Preppers. He is an evacuee and immigrant, exiled or came from Cuba. And he was talking on his video today. He was talking about the conditions in Cuba right after the fall of the Berlin Wall and then consequently the fall of the Sovietsky Soyuz. And so he was saying that one of the things you didn't want to do in Cuba before he left was buy anything that said chicken, because most of food conditions were so bad and people were starving and they were looking for something. Well, I got to show you my shirt too. I ordered this last year, but I hoped I would have it. I wore it and then it was dirty, so I didn't get to do it on the lives. Helen washed it for me, so I have it clean for tonight. But anyhow, he was talking about people were setting traps on the roofs of their homes, catching buzzards, and then preparing the buzzards and selling those as chicken. So he refused to eat any chicken at all the last year he was in Cuba before he came to the U.S. But listen, it's channels like that. Frontier Prepper, Billy, Prepper, Prepper, Frontier Prepper Billy. He's up in Alaska, very close to Rudy, the Alaskan prepper. And then Selko Begovic. If you can find anything of his online, I'm going to say that Fernando Ferfal Aguirre, he has a fantastic channel. He talks about his experience surviving the fall of Argentina in 1998 through 2000, the financial collapse. Anything you can find from Venezuela Prepper. I really like listening to people who have been there, done that, instead of people who say, I think this is what's going to happen. Those four guys, okay? Billy, Frontier Prepper, Soko Begovic, My Year in Hell, his survival of the Bosnian conflict. Furfalo Aguirre and his experience with Argentina and the fall of Argentina, and Venezuela Prepper. Those four. Listen to what they have to say because they've been there, done that. They know what's going to happen. Mother Earth Garden Club, good evening. Welcome. Let me see. Catch up here. You guys are so phenomenal, sharing with each other and helping each other, and just unbelievable. Prepper Book Club, good evening. Welcome. Kaylin, welcome. I think I said welcome, but if I didn't, Kaylin, welcome. Shady Hill Homestead, that's a new name. Welcome. Glad to see you. At least in my old age, it's new. I hope I haven't greeted you before and forgotten. But who else we have here? And I said Suzanne Coulet. She came over from Gill, I am quite sure. And Znał, что я говорю по-русски, но я не хочу. So that's, you knew that I spoke Russian, but I don't want to all the time. So yeah, that's for 21 years. I was a Russian translator in the Army. Jack says, find Soko Begovic's book about the war in Bosnia. He says it was as it was without the gruesome details. And he has some later books that do give the gruesome details. But I think it's important that we know exactly what we're in for. I read a fantastic article today from, what's her name? I'll put the link to the article down below, but it's basically mental preparedness for SHTF, and some of the things that we've got to do in order to prepare for it, because we're going to be the ones that others are going to count on to survive. So, think of it, in radio net diagramming, we call it was a star with clusters, okay? And so we've got one person, and I'm going to use me as the central point here, not that I want to, but I'm going to use it as an example. So I am the central point, and I have this array of knowledge, all these rays of knowledge that are going out. And those rays of knowledge are going out to these other little stars, okay? And each one of those stars is you. Now you become the central star, the ray. I get out of it. You guys start sharing your information along with any information you may have gleaned from me out to your followers. And that's how we can share all this knowledge out there and save as many lives as possible with what's coming up. And so if we can just do that, that's going to be fantastic. And I think that will be what we're meant to do is help our fellow man. Some of them are good. I've got some Ukrainian friends. I've got some Russian friends, that are, I would say, pretty much in tune with me. I'm going to say Billy. I mean, Billy is you cannot probably get more conservative and more constitutionalist than Billy on Frontier Preppers. He's lived there. He knows what freedom is, and he knows what freedom is when it's not there. And so he is a constitutionalist like you would not believe. He is a U.S. flag waver. I will tell you that much. That's just something. Jack, you're absolutely right. And so the way I like to describe it is we're in for a fall. So I think with all the preparation that we're doing, what we're doing is we're building up a base of cushions so that when we fall, that fall isn't going to be as dramatic or as hard for us as it is going to be for other people who have not built up that cushion. So when they fall, they're going to fall from a high distance, and they're going to have nothing to impact on but the ground. When we fall, it's going to be from a shorter distance, and we're going to have a lot of padding to fall upon. That's my analogy. So yeah, you're right. Nobody's really ready for it. You can have all the best preps in the world, even up here, but we just don't know. It's the unknown. But what we do know is we can freeze. That's what we can do. Hello, Lee. Hello, Lee. Are you out there? You can freeze if you want to. But anyhow, so what we can do is we can prepare and do two things: decrease the amount of height that we're going to lose from that drop, and cushion the bottom as much as possible. That's my recommendation to you. Muskoka Oma, yes, the Thrive Life cookbook is still available, and I love it. As a matter of fact, oh no, we're doing what we were going to do last night, but Helen wanted to use the can cooker, and I had to use it. I wanted to use it for a demo, so. Whoa, what's going on? I know we're supposed to have some um, CMEs, you know, light categories hit us this. I have never frozen before, and I'm having a dickens of a time here with freezing this evening. I apologize for that. Uh, oh, I'm sorry, Faxus. Um, I'm sorry if I misunderstood you. I apologize. Let me see. Yes, I've seen that, and Billy talks about that as well. About after the fall in Havana, they were eating any pets, any animals, and even to the point of eating the vultures and the crows and things like that. So really something. Uh, so Modern Survivalist, yes, is from Venezuela. Uh, Gotcha. Okay, thank you for that clarification. Appreciate it. Uh, appreciate it. Thank you for that clarification. Uh, yeah, so we're supposed to have a hope. If you watch, I'm going to get his name wrong again. Suspicious Observers. Keelan, I know you're going to help me out because you watch him too. Um, he's saying that we've got a couple flares, CMEs, that are hitting the Earth. One is scheduled for tonight, and that's going to be the auroras that you'll probably seen. Ben Davidson, thank you, Keelan. Uh, so we're supposed to get some minor auroras this evening, some minor CMEs hitting the Earth this evening. There is another one that's going to be a small X class. So we don't anticipate any major damage. We'll have some disruptions, but no major damage. And that's supposed to hit Thursday night. But if you get a chance, he comes out at 7:00 every morning. It's only about 3 minutes long. And he does his Suspicious Observers prediction for the day. There's also another great channel. What's her name? She does primarily earthquakes. And so I watch her as well. She just came out this afternoon, was talking about a whole bunch of earthquakes around Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and so that she was explaining that the North American fault is subsiding under the Caribbean fault. And so there's a whole, but Mary Greeley, thank you, Holly Ivins, Mary Greeley. But anyhow, and Holly, if you can find her a link and put it up, that would be great as well. But anyhow, she was talking this evening about they've had something like a dozen 2.5 earthquakes and above there in the Caribbean, in the area of Puerto Rico, Cuba, Haiti, the Dominican Republic. Those islands are right on that fault line, basically, within 100 kilometers of them. And they've had a lot of activity in that area. So that's another good one. We're 25 minutes in, and I haven't talked about the book yet. Oh, Suzanne, thank you. Let me write that down. The Great Google Aurora Dashboard. Okay, let me write that down. I'm of the age, I had my 72nd birthday, so I am of the age to where I have to write things down. Aurora Dashboard. Okay, we got it. Let's get into this. That's what we're here to do this evening. So thank you all so much for tolerating me. I greatly appreciate it. So where we're at tonight is to stockpile equipment and supplies. He talks about number 1, 11 essentials that are hard to make that you want to stockpile now in preparation for isn't that the truth, Phioxerus? Oh my gosh. Caught that out of the corner of my eye. Okay. If somebody would just get the link for Mary Greeley News and put that up, I would greatly appreciate that. That's another good one. Hello, Tuck by V. That's another good channel to subscribe to. So over-the-counter medications, analgesics, decongestants, antihistamines, antacids, antidiarrheals, laxatives, topical burn ointment, topical antibiotics, neosporin, polysporin, all those kinds of things, the first aid things, of course, alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, and things like that. Don't forget to dilute your hydrogen peroxide, by the way. Number 2, glasses, contacts, and hearing aids, and batteries. He doesn't say batteries, but I do. But make sure you get the batteries for them as well. So we went on a buying spree, and we've got a whole bunch of brand new. I just opened one package today. We've got a whole bunch of new reading glasses. I don't even know what I did with them. Golly. I had to clear everything away out of my, there they are. I had to clean everything out of my corner because the motion detector up there and all the problems we had with it today. So I don't know where anything is. We got probably a half dozen of reading glasses. So, as you age, your eyes change. And so you want to make sure you do that. By the way, I said something last night, and I want to get into that real quickly. I'm going to say that tonight's video is sponsored by Aquatabs. So I want to show you the difference between the two. And when we get up to our $10,000 subscriber giveaway, this is a whole bunch of Aquatabs water purification tablets. I'm calling them my sponsor tonight because they've given me all these nice things to give away. But these are water purification tablets, okay? So I've got 4 packages of, probably what? A dozen tablets are enough to do a couple gallons of water purification. And then they also sent me a couple of these bottles just full of tablets. I might keep one of those, but I'm going to give the rest of them away as 10,000 subscriber giveaways. I'm calling Aquatabs my channel sponsor tonight. So please support Aquatabs. Get their water purification tablets. Make sure you have at least one of these little envelopes of 4 packages or one of these bottles of tablets in your bug out bag, okay? This is going to be your quickest and best way to purify water and kill off anything that you need to kill off. Now, it won't filter out the particulate matter, but it will kill off anything you need to kill off. I want to differentiate that from the Aqua Mira. So Mira is Spanish for look. Mira agua. So yeah, Aqua Mira. Aqua Mira water treatment. This is the one that is a water preservative, and you mix it. There's a bottle A and a bottle B. You can mix it into your stored water to refresh the taste or to keep the taste so that it doesn't go stale and stagnant while you're storing your water. So that's the difference. Aquatabs, tonight's channel sponsor, is water purification, and Aqua Mira is water taste. Okay. And just want to make sure everybody's quite up to date on all of that. Yeah, you showed a couple of them in your Spanish rations the other night. Thank you for that great suggestion, Jack. Appreciate that. Okay, so Suzanne, if you ever text me, there's going to be a whole bunch of extra B's and C's in the text that make no sense whatsoever. And it's because I'm of the generation where I poke and hunt with my finger. I just found out that I can actually dictate, and that's probably going to be more effective. But I still hunt and peck with my finger. And so when I'm doing it, my finger, whenever it's close to an N or an M, actually hits the B and the C. And I do the same thing for hitting the space bar. I'll hit a C or a B depending upon which finger I'm using for the space bar. So you're going to see all kinds of extraneous C's and B's in my text messages. I apologize. That's just the way it is. Thank you, Holly. Yes. Yep. Jack, look 2 comments up above. I think Holly did it for us. Okay. Clothes and shoes. Now, I wrote my own note on the side. And one of the things that he says, make sure you have plenty of clothes, plenty of shoes, shoe repair kits. So they've got that shoe goo that basically you can use as a temporary patch for the sole of your shoe. Make sure you have plenty of socks. I just went and bought another 24 socks last month at Sam's Club. I have a note down here on the side, something I wanted to add that I think is important to add to his comments, and that is get a couple pairs of either 1 size or 2 sizes larger clothing from Goodwill or another reuse shop like that, that you can wear when you go out, so that other people see you. And even no matter how much you eat, if you're wearing clothes that are 2 sizes larger, you're going to look like you're like they are and not eating as much. So the way to hide the fact that you're eating while everybody else is starving is go out and plan right now. Get 1 or 2 pair of jeans, 1 or 2 shirts that are going to be 1 or 2 sizes larger, and wear those when you're out in public with the other people so that you look just as skinny as they are. There's that old adage that there's nothing like the fat king in the middle of the starving town. They can always see who you are. So make sure you get your clothing, winter clothing, socks, everything else. Now, thanks to Maggie. Maggie and I were talking, and she found these wonderful things here that I think are also important. These are safety gloves and safety arm guards. I'm looking for safety leggings. But anyhow, these just fit on like an extra large glove, and it's got a thumb hole here so that you can basically put these on, and they're cut proof so that when you're out either with a draw blade, and I need, you have a leather apron on. If you're using a draw blade or any other tool, sharp tool, and you don't want to cut your arms to include a hatchet or an axe or anything like that, then you want to have these cut proof, I'm going to call them gauntlets. She also got me a pair of cut proof gloves. And so that's fantastic. Now I need some shin guards because I did have once, when I was using an axe on a fallen piece of timber, my blade hit at an angle and it hit a knot and just kind of bounced off. I came within a millimeter of amputating my own leg. So you need to make sure you have good leg and hand protection when you're out there working with wood. That's one of those things that you just need to have. Okay. He also says insulated gloves, thick socks, stocking caps for winter. Absolutely. Nothing better than the Navy P cap. And that's the patrol cap. So if you look for the stretch Navy patrol cap, that's the wool blend stocking cap. Nothing better in the world. That's what I wore when I was in Germany underneath my parka. Just a phenomenal piece of gear. I have 3 of them, by the way, because at that time when I was in Germany at Field Station Augsburg, the Navy was there. So we had Navy, Air Force, Army, and Marines all in the same building, and they had to carry everybody's service gear. So I mean, one of the things that sold out most often was the P caps. So that was something else. Yes, that's what I need to get. Exactly. Thank you. Dana too. I am 99% certain she got them on Amazon because she had them mailed directly to me from Amazon. So almost everything that she sends me comes from Amazon. Especially for motorcyclists. Yeah, I can understand that. General safety gear, safety glasses. Okay. And you got to have those for that PPE, the Fallout PPE that I made for you. Those are shatterproof range glasses. And so if you can get shooting glasses or any kind of eye protection, make sure that they're ANSI rated so that they are shatterproof. Get those. You also want hearing protection. You can either get the insertable type or you can get the ear muffins. It's always great to have a hard hat. So, I've got my hard hat from CERT. That's a good piece of gear to have. And then plenty of rugged gloves for outdoor use. You can get a 3-pack of leather gloves at Sam's for like $18. They're really good. I got my leather gloves. They're lambskin. I got them from Tractor Supply. Love their gear. Specialty protection equipment, the chaps for chainsaw work, safety belt for climbing trees, bee suit for beekeeping, etc. Number 4 is freedom seeds. If you know what I'm talking about, make sure you have a large supply of that. Number 5 is going to be fuel. I can't harp on fuel enough. I don't think we're taking fuel seriously. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go back. I have another side note here that I got to share with you. And under the safety stuff, make sure you can get some safety shoes or boots, especially if you want to be out doing chopping. If you can get steel-toed or steel-soled boots or shoes, that's an added bonus. Any extra layers of leather you can get while you're dealing with chainsaws, axes, or anything like that is going to be for your own good work. There aren't going to be a whole bunch of surgeons available or easily accessible for you. So that's something you want to have. So fuel, I think I harp on fuel all the time. As I said last night, those little butane canisters are good for about 3 hours. It takes about a half hour on a can cooker to cook a meal. So that means that each one of those canisters is going to get you 2 days worth of cooking. So in order to have a year's worth of cooking, you've got to have 182, let's call it, of those canisters stored up in order to cook for a year. I don't think most of us want to do that. That's an explosive thing to have around the house. So we're going to be relying on charcoal, wood, and things like that. Remember that you don't want to burn wood until you've aged it at least 6 months after you've cut it down, or else that becomes a smoke hazard in and of itself. So, start planning your fuel, what you're going to need for winter, as well as what you're going to need for cooking now, because it's not something, if you're planning on wood, it's going to be a terrible catch up as far as your fuel for cooking and heating. Batteries, make sure you have a whole bunch of AA and AAA batteries. I am into rechargeable AA and AAA batteries. Of course, I have my Jackery system. I'm waiting for a sunny day so I can go out and see how long it's going to take for those 2 100-watt panels to power up my 1,000-watt Jackery and get it all taken care of. I found out I am not an affiliate of Jackery. I have a YouTube link. I'm not a YouTube, an Amazon link that I put in the show notes so you can get the same Jackery I have if you want it. Now, I will tell you, if I had it to do all over again, I would not buy the system I bought. It's too small. It probably will run the refrigerator I have out on the back porch. It's the one I bought for my daughter when she was in college. One of those little, I think it's 1.5 cubic, no, 6 cubic feet, 6 cubic foot for refrigerator. So, it'll power that, and that's about it. So you want to get one larger than the one I have in the show notes. Click on it and then go to the bigger one if you want one. I like the Jackery so far. I haven't charged it up and used it yet. It looks simple, which is what I like. So that's why I want to get out there and get it all charged up. All my other solar stuff I've charged up and used. I want to charge this up and then I want to drain it and see how long that takes. Let me catch up with the comments in here. Gosh, a whole bunch. Um, when I weighed in at the pulmonologist this morning, I had lost 10 pounds over the last week. So there you go. Vloggers chaps, there we go. The Kevlar ones. Thank you, Feopterus. Great going. Yes, Jack, with UV protection, you're absolutely correct. It does both. It protects your eyes from the sun as well as protecting your eyes from any flying fragments or anything else. Yeah, the cut-proof gloves, that's these. That's what I showed. Kaylin has safety goggles that are prescription. That's fantastic. When I was actively scuba diving, and before I had my cataract surgery, I had my goggles were prescription goggles for diving. So, yeah, they're not inexpensive. I can tell you that much. I bet you have, Jack. You're a homesteader, so you're out there working in it 12 hours a day. In comparison to me, I'm a suburbanite, so the worst I have to do is go out and dig up my potatoes. I think 5 gallons of gasoline might be, enough. I have 6 empty, brand new empty. No, I'm sorry. I have 5 empty, brand new 5-gallon gas containers. I have one that I use to keep the gas for the mower, the chainsaw, and things like that. I don't. One of the things is if you have too much ammunition or you have too much flammable material, like the butane gas or anything like that stored in your home and it catches on fire, your insurance company can deny the claim on your home. They don't like having explosives or things that can add to the flames stored inside your home. So that's one of the things you have to constantly be aware of. If you don't have a place where you can store it safely away from your home, in a lockable shed or something out in the backyard where it's going to be temperature controlled and things like that, please don't store a whole bunch of flammables or explosives inside your home, just in case. Don't want you to lose your insurance over that. So batteries, I use rechargeables. I show you the little handy dandy rechargeable systems that I have for that. Hand tools. My favorite hand tool I found in a Goodwill store. Let me get this page marked so that I can. Whoops, I lost my page mark. Don't let me lose another one. Trying to do this. There we go. So I found this at the Goodwill store. It's a drill. Okay, and the same thing. I found an egg beater. So and the egg beater, of course, is going to be for mixing things. We won't have dough hooks and all that kinds of stuff available to us in a post apocalyptic post electricity world. So that's that. I would recommend you that if you're concerned, if you're going to be doing any kind of woodworking or anything like that, get one of these. This is an awl. Okay. So basically it's a drill bit, and what you do is you just insert a stick or anything here, and then you can turn it and drill a hole. Now this is to the same diameter as the inside of here. Okay. So now what I can do is this side is sharp. I can take this side and put it on top of a stick and then put this safety sheath back around the awl or the drill bit. Okay, so I'm going to put that around there and that on there so I don't cut my fingers. And then you can put this on there and then hammer this down so that now you have a dowel that is the exact same or almost the exact same diameter as the hole that you've drilled, so that dowel will now go into that hole that you drilled. So you can make a ladder or, lots of different stuff like that. So this is a wood crafting auger and drill bit, I think it's called. But, that's another thing you might want to consider. Anything else? Let me get rid of all my show and tell stuff. I think that's it for the night. Okay. So he talks about carpentry tools, gardening tools, woodworking tools. He separates carpentry, which is basically finish work, from woodworking, which is processing the raw wood, trees, converting a tree into lumber, and then carpentry, converting the lumber into something of the finished product. Other tools, sledgehammers, post drivers, hand augers. That's what this is, the hand auger. Okay. Hand siphon pumps, etc. Miscellaneous items, hand crate, can opener. Make sure you get a number 10 can opener. I can't express that enough. If you're going to rely on these number 10 cans, the lip is deeper than on a normal can that you get at the grocery store. So your normal home can opener is not necessarily going to do the trick. I mean, it'll get you there over time, but just get $12, $14. You can get a number 10 can opener on Amazon. Tarps and plastic sheeting. Make sure you have plenty of it. One thing, I have to have plenty of tarps and plastic sheeting. I've got it. My toolbox out here on the back porch is plastic. I got it at Sam's Club, and it's one of those garden storage bins. But one thing I've learned is plastic doesn't survive Texas heat too well. So I have it covered with one of those blue and silver tarps. I have to replace those about every third year because the sun just tears those up. So make sure that you have an adequate amount of tarps and things like that for your weather conditions. Make sure you have plenty of writing supplies. You've seen my bucket of writing supplies. My wife says that I am an office supplies addict. Like I just bought $10 worth of graph paper. Or she almost, fire starting supplies. Make sure you have plenty of those. My number one fire starter is going to be a Zippo lighter. Number two will be a Bic lighter. Number three is going to be matches. Number four is going to be a Fresnel lens. Somewhere down the line, we're going to get to the point where I'm going to be using my ferro rod and my LT Wright Genesis 2 or one of my other knives. But I use those when I go camping. It's nice to play around with them. But in a post-apocalyptic world, I want something that's going to go bang, ready to go. Construction materials, he says, get nails, screws, electrical wiring, copper pipe, PVC pipe, plywood, and assorted lumber. Yes, if you have the space. I don't have the space. I'll have to make do with what I have. Same thing with copper pipe and other things he's recommending here. Where to get this? Your supplies? Craigslist, he says, Facebook Marketplace. Some places like that. eBay. You can get some good things on eBay. Sometimes people want a fancy price for what you're getting at eBay. So just beware of that, price shop. Beyond stockpiling supplies, personal hygiene supplies, hand soap, shampoo, conditioner. I'm going to tell you right now, go out this week and get hand sanitizer. The flu is starting up. There's going to be, we've got this new thing that's coming out. I got my flu shot today. I got my annual pneumonia shot today. So I'm going to tell you, get all of your immunizations up to date. Make sure you have plenty of hand sanitizer. That was one of the first things to go under the lockup. I had a store and I had a heck of a hard time finding them. I finally found a hospital supply company that sold me 120 gallons of hand sanitizer in 5-gallon buckets. And so what I did was I was running a refilling service. You bring me your hand sanitizer and I'll refill it for you at a price per ounce based off of the ounces that were marked on the bottle when you brought it in. So, those are things to think of. That's going to be one of those first things to go. Assorted household cleaners, dish soap, laundry soap. Let me tell you that Dawn, the new Blue Dawn spray on, best thing on earth. I've probably got 12 bottles of that. And I'm trying to pick up those. We pick them up whenever they go on sale, probably every 3 months at Sam's or at Costco. So when they go on sale, we pick them up. I think it's Dawn. Just a minute. They have the spray bottle. This is just the spray top, and then it fits on the refill bottles. So you get for like $12. You get one spray bottle and 2 refills at Costco or at Sam's Club when they go on sale. Fantastic stuff. Just spray it on, and it just you can watch it just come right off. It's unbelievable. I love it. I haven't gotten up the courage yet to not put soap on my outdoor cook gear to see if it'll take off the carbon residue from smoke. But maybe I might have to. I'll continue using Joy dish soap on the outside of my cooking stuff that I use outdoors. Prescription medications, over-the-counter medications, medical first aid supplies for children and babies. Make sure you have plenty of diapers, pull-ups. Don't forget that they grow, and you're going to have to change sizes and increase the size as you're going. Don't forget handmade options. And what's this note here? So he's talking about alternatives to dish soap, alternatives to different things. And so my note that I wrote off to the side was, I don't know if they're still in business or not, but back in 1972, I sold Amway. And so they had the liquid organic concentrate that you could use for so many different things. And they had SA8, which was the soap without the surfactants. I don't know if they're still in business or not, but things like that.Maybe what's the other one? There's another company that competed with them, and I think they're still in business. But they started out primarily as a vitamin company, and then they switched over into the concentrated dish soaps and things like that. Those are things worth considering. Consider essential oils, and you can mix essential oils to do what you need to for most of your cleaning stuff too. Final thoughts, don't forget vinegar, baking soda, borax, Epsom salts, isopropyl alcohol, coconut oil, cornstarch, and of course he mentions, he doesn't mention this one in particular, he mentions Dawn dish soap, but get the Dawn Power Wash. It's phenomenal. Okay, let me see, I think that's it for the evening. No, there's one more. Learn some basic skills. Water filtration and purification. Remember that this evening, I'm calling it, we are being sponsored by Aqua Tabs, water purification tablets. Fire starting, we kind of talked about that. Make sure you have a Zippo, Bic lighters, ferrocerium rod, matches, all those different kinds of things. Don't forget to experiment with campfire cooking. If you can get a Dutch oven cooking is phenomenal for the backyard. Can cooker, CWP 15. That link is going to be in the show notes. That gets you a 15% discount on the on canned cooker things, and that's going to be another one of those great outdoor convection ovens, she likes to call it, steamer. And but it does greatly reduce the amount of cook time that you're going to have. And if you reduce cook time, then you're reducing the amount of fuel you're using. Don't forget first aid. Get all the first aid training you can get, and don't forget how to build an emergency shelter in case something happens. And that's it for this evening. So, gosh, and I talked at 152 miles per hour, and the record is 151. So I think I talked faster tonight than any night that I have ever talked before. Let's see where we are. Utah Mike says, steel-toed boots. So right after I talk about talking the fastest I've ever talked, it took a while for the computer to catch up with me. It had to freeze and process what I was saying, and I apologize with the speed of my voice this evening. So Utah Mike says that steel-toed boots means cold feet. Yes, you're right. And it means in the summer sweaty feet, because it's going to take the ambient temperature and pass that on to your foot, which is why you need good wool socks. I am convinced wool socks. And in the Army, we actually wore 2 pair of socks. We'd wear wool on the inside, or I'm sorry, cotton on the inside and wool on the outside. I'm so Little on Prepper, I'm kind of the same way. I can't sleep in a mummy bag or anything like that because I just can't stand to have my feet covered at night. My feet have to be out from underneath whatever cover I'm with, which is why Even now, I think I showed you, I bought a poncho liner when I was at Fuel Station Augsburg in 1977. So that thing is now, let me see, 77 to 17 is 40. So it's about 45 years old. All the woodland camo has been washed out of it, but I still sleep with it. I can pull it up over my body. My feet get exposed. That's just the way it goes. Suzanne agrees. She says her late uncle said that the wool socks inside the boots are great. When I was HR director for the electric power company, our chief operations officer, one of the best boss I've ever had. I've had some really good bosses. He was a great boss, and he's now the executive director of Heart of Texas Electric Co-op. Brandon Young, just a phenomenally great guy. And but one year for Christmas, he gave me wool socks, and so I greatly appreciate it. I treasure those socks. I still have them. And then one year he knew I was a prepper, so he gave me a tool bag. But he always gave me great Christmas presents. He was really phenomenal. I am so happy he got promoted to the executive director after I left. Just he's a great guy. His kid, who was like a 5-year-old when I worked there, is off to college this semester. Unbelievable. There's also the hand warmers make foot warmers. So you've got those, you open them up, they get exposed to the air. The air causes a chemical reaction, and you can put those down in the sole of your shoe, and that will keep your feet warm. Only for about 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours. But when you're out hunting, I tell you what, hand warmers in your jacket, okay, for your hands, and then the foot warmers, especially if you're in a blind. I don't know. Do they give off an odor though that the animals can smell? So we're trying to stay downwind from them anyway. So you never know. Yes, Phioxerus, fantastic suggestion. Absolutely. And if you have I had an Onan 5 kW propane generator. And I tell you, it fouled the plugs very quickly, fouled the air filters and the fuel filters like you would not believe. Well, the air filters, no, I'm not going to say that. Texas dust fouled the air filters. So make sure you have plenty of spark plugs, air filters, oil filters, and fuel filters for anything that you are going to run. So great suggestion, great addition. Thank you, Phioxerus. Let me see, catch up here. So Kayleen says 2,000 watts is probably better for big appliances. Yeah, I know. I'm afraid my 1 kW is not going to handle it. So, but we shall see. Yes, propane, and I got those notes here. Where is that? Propane, I wrote it down here in my conversation yesterday with Sonia. Where are my notes from yesterday? Oh, it's on a 5x8 card. That's where. But I moved everything because we had to get up there to the. One of them is 8,000 BTUs and the other one's 10,000. I forget which is which. I think butane is 8,000 and propane is 10,000. Thank you, Little Lone Prepper. I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, so a 12-volt charger would be fantastic, especially if you can get it to a small a solar charger. Absolutely. Great idea. Great suggestion. Thank you. So Phioxerus recommends bare knuckle gloves. I have one pair of those that I bought for tactical purposes a couple of years ago. Carhartts were out fast. I don't wear gloves that much. They're there if I need them. I do have one pair of gloves that I keep in the pickup, and I keep in Helen's car, and they're leather. But the reason I keep them there is so that I don't get gasoline smell when I'm refueling either of the vehicles. I just like to have the gloves while I'm gassing. So it sounds like Kaylin has a pellet gun rifle. Yep, absolutely. We got to take that into consideration. Yeah, in most of the videos, that's what you're going to see, Fioxerus. Absolutely correct. And yes, Kaylin. So you very wise decision. I don't know what those are, Tucked by V, but I'll definitely take a look at it. You guys give me a list, so many things to look up. It's unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you for educating me on a regular basis. I'm so glad that we have such knowledgeable people who are so willing to share the knowledge that they have. Remember that star and rays that I talked about at the beginning? That's what you guys are. You're wonderful rays. And every once in a while, there is reflection back, so that those little outstations teach the net control station. So thank you so much for that. I greatly appreciate it. I learn as much as you guys do. So thank you. Yes, we do. Absolutely do. There's a lot of construction going on around us, and I wanted a piece of wood that I could use kind of like a sawhorse with my X-Acto knife. I make my cardboard and paraffin, what I call Boy Scout candles or Boy Scout stoves, where you cut the paraffin and it fits inside of a tuna can. I'm sorry, you cut the cardboard with the corrugation going up and down, and roll it up and put it inside of a tuna can, and then you pour melted paraffin on top of it. So that whole rolled up cardboard becomes your wick, and it's a big wick, so you can use them as a stove. So that's one of those things you can do. Now it's not flammable, okay? It's safe. It's safe. It's not going to blow up on you or anything else, but you got it sealed because you're going to use a side opening can opener so that you can replace the lid on top of it and then coat that or have a rubber band around it, a Ranger band, and those are fantastic. So yes, absolutely. So I needed a piece of wood so I could cut my cardboard. And all this construction around here, I finally found somebody who gave me a 2-foot long piece of 1x6. So that's now my carving station, if you will. Fantastic. Yeah, I probably should do that. Multi-purpose sanitizers like vinegar and vodka. That's true. Yep. Well, I was doing all kinds of stuff. We had a couple Foot Lockers full of stuff for the kids, our grandchildren, and but they moved away. So now we're mailing them to them. We just mailed off another box of all the educational stuff that I had purchased, workbooks and things like that. So we did a book rake, and it's going to get there next week. But they're enjoying it, so we're just sending them on a regular basis. Yeah, here, Little on Prepper, I'm going to share a secret with you. Okay. I did a lot of research, and they said the absolute best whiskey out there was Eagle Trace. And if you couldn't get it, get Buffalo something or other. So I was able to find 2 bottles of Eagle Rare, and then there was Buffalo Trace. I'm sorry, Eagle Rare and Buffalo Trace. So I bought the only bottle of Eagle Rare in town and gave it to my son-in-law for Christmas because he's really into that. And then they had 2 bottles of Buffalo Trace. So I gave him one for his birthday, and then I kept the other one. I decided I'd open it and give it a taste. I don't see what people see in that. I'm sorry. That does not. This is my thing. Black cherry carbonated water. I just there was nothing there for me. I agree. Wine is now I do enjoy good wine, especially a Cabernet Sauvignon or some of the deeper, darker reds. I do appreciate those. Well, you know what? We're at 1 minute and 5 seconds, or 1 hour and 5 minutes. So I'm going to unfortunately have to bypass because I talk so much. There's so much good comments here that we're going to have to call it a night. But thank you all so much. I'm sorry I didn't get to every one of your comments. I will go back and read them. I do appreciate what you share with us. I do so much appreciate the fact that you are kind, polite, and respectful to each other. We've got a family, and like I told KP Heathen, he's got an emergency situation coming up. We're all in this together. If I can be of help in any way, KP Heathen is welcome here. So the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verses 24, 25, and 26. I've got that much memorized so far. We'll work on the rest of it. I have an old mind, a small brain that's been overfilled. And so every time I put something new in, something else drops out. So we have to prioritize. So I've got to get some of this out. Take care, Jack. Have a great evening. So the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord let his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord look upon you kindly and give you peace. So remember that we're all in this together so we can come out the other side together. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for your kindness, being polite and respectful to each other. Have a blessed evening. I will see you next week. Hopefully I'll have a couple shorts out this week, as well as maybe a video on encipherment systems. So, how is Shenanigans? I have not heard from her, but I do know she is currently in West Virginia, and her home is in the little town that has been evacuated as a result of the fire line. So I have not heard from her since I told you all yesterday to please keep her in your prayers. So if you would do that, I would greatly appreciate that. Take care, everybody. See you Monday. Bye-bye.